Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Cooking for the M of It. I'm your host, Wesley Foreman, and today we're going to be attempting a ketoized version of ground beef stroganoff. Let's get started. Now, one of the ingredients we're going to be using is half a pound of sliced mushrooms. And I've been seeing a lot of stuff on Facebook and Twitter and other social media outlets how... Did I say Twitter? Who uses Twitter anymore? How they don't like mushrooms, and the best way to serve them is to just throw them out. I personally think the reason that they say that is because they're eating mushrooms that haven't been properly cleaned. You want to clean off all the dirt. See, this water is normally clear. All this cloudiness, that comes from the mushrooms that weren't properly washed. So I'm going to get some more water and give it a second washing to make sure I got off all the gunk. And then we'll proceed. Once the water is clear, you know the mushrooms are clean and you're ready to go forward. That might be a lot of effort for some people, but I personally don't like eating dirt. Okay. See, that's after the first wash. I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing, but you can see already after just one that the water is much clearer. Now, for a stroganoff, two of the main, most flavorful items are going to be your onion and your garlic. Now, I don't know if all of you have seen me prepare an onion. What you want to do is you don't want to go all the way through. You want to leave a little bit at the back when you're dicing your onion. I forget what she was making, but I do remember getting this particular gem from an episode of The French Chef. Now this last bit of stub, it's simple, and this part here, see how very nicely that got diced. So we just finish up the second half of the onion, and here you see our garlic, as well as our thyme or oregano, salt and black pepper. Now we're trying to heat up our Dutch oven to a medium-high heat. Easiest way to make sure it's ready is you put a little water, not a lot, just a few drops, some sprinkling in there. And once all of the water has boiled away, we'll do this one more time, and when it immediately sizzles and steams away, then we'll know that it's ready. Okay, let's take a look. It's probably going to be different because this is an enameled Dutch oven. So we're going to go ahead and take 2 tablespoons of my favorite keto-friendly fat, which in this case is all extra virgin olive oil. And we're going to add first, because this is a dish that's cooked in layers. First layer, sorry about that, it's going to be our 2 big flavor players, our onion and garlic. We're going to let that cook for about 7 minutes, or until the onion has become translucent and the garlic has become fragrant. Now 7 minutes is a long time for you to wait. So, abracadabra. One thing I forgot to do was add our mushrooms. Now, one of the benefits of a large Dutch oven like this is that the onions, we're not trying to brown them, so if they get a little crowded, that's not a problem. But this is a new recipe for me. Most of them are. I haven't repeated yet. Although I do plan on doing a repeat in an upcoming episode. I found a way to make sole manière keto friendly. And I may just do that for my next episode. Because I like fish, and it's a good dish. Okay, so let's jump ahead. Okay, it has now been 7 minutes, and we're going to transfer the onions, garlic, and mushrooms to another bowl because we're going to be using this. Oh, some of them tried to get away. No, don't eat me! I'm going to do that. Move on to our next step, our next layer, as I said. Okay, now we're going to add in our hamburger, but before you can see there's not a whole lot of oil, so what we're going to do is add a little bit more, not a lot, maybe a tablespoon and a half, and we are going to add in our ground beef. Also, at this first, we're going to break off our ground beef. And we are also going to add our oregano, our thyme, our pepper, and our salt, as well as 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. As we proceed, and we're going to cook this, excuse me, for about 4 minutes, or until the meat is no longer pink. Now we're not done yet, but I do want to show you that, see how lovely the meat is starting to look. This is definitely not a recipe for vegetarians. And I love the way the vinegar gives it a nice sort of a tangy aroma at this point. Probably turn it up a tiny bit on the heat. Not a lot. You don't want to burn the meat or scorch it so that it sticks to the pan. But you do want to keep it hot enough that it cooks all the way through. So, you don't need to keep seeing me do this for the next 4 to 5 minutes, so let's jump ahead. I did want to add, though, that depending on what type of beef you use, how much the fat content is, I mean, I'm using a high-fat, 73% lean ground beef, so 27% fat. That's nothing to worry about. This is a ketoized recipe, and think of the extra fat as an added flavor bonus. It's really coming along well. But we still have a little bit more time left. Okay, it has now been a full 5 minutes, and we are now adding in 2 tablespoons of almond flour. This is a substitute. The recipe originally called for, oh God, what was it called again? Arrowroot flour. But I decided had too many carbs, and I'm trying to follow the keto low-carb diet. And I tried arrowroot once before, and it had a sort of a, gave the food sort of a gummy flavor, so not a big fan, not gummy as in gummy candies, but just sort of a consistency. I don't like gummy candies either, but that's not important. Now, if this doesn't work, the next time I make it, I'll be using something called xanthan gum. That might work better, I've been told, but I had the almond flour in hand, so I decided to go with it. Now we're going to re-add our mushrooms, onions, and garlic. We're going to stir that around. And it looks like the almond flour is working. It's coming out, it's a little thicker now. Now, I'm going to add 1 extra tablespoon of that. Because, like I said, it's not the same thing as arrowroot, or some friends suggested the xanthan, or whatever it's called. But I'm going to make sure it is nice and thick, because this is a stroganoff, more like a stew than a soup. Although there's nothing wrong with soup. I like soup. I like hot soup, and I cannot lie. Please don't tell Sir Mix-a-Lot. I haven't paid a royalty for that. Okay. Now we're going to let that sit for just a bit. We're going to let this reduce the heat to a simmer. Make sure I'm reading this correctly. Yeah, we're also going to, oh, sorry, turn that back up. We're also going to slowly add our almond milk. Now we're going to reduce the heat to a low and let that simmer for about 10 minutes. Once it comes up to a nice simmering level. So let's jump ahead. It's not done yet, but I'm going to give this a little taste, see if it needs any extra seasoning. It is an interesting flavor. The almond milk definitely gives it something different. So let's bring this up to a very low, bring this up to a simmering boil. That should take about 10 or 15 minutes till it's reached the desired thickness. Okay, it's now been near enough 10 minutes. We can go on with the next step, which is to add riced cauliflower. This is a good vegetable, and it will help with the thickening. As you can see, I forget how hot. cast iron can get. So we're going to stir this up, make sure that the... Now I used Jolly Green Giant, but I could have gotten a regular cauliflower and riced it myself. I do have one of the veggie bullets that are good. That's good for that. But I wanted to save some time. Okay. And you see that's much better now. It has a very interesting aroma from the combination of the oregano, thyme, and the almond milk. I'm wondering now if I could have used heavy cream instead. That's also keto. But aside from the using almond flour instead of arrowroot and using the cauliflower, I'm trying to stay as close to the recipe as I can before I do any extra experimenting. Okay, we're going to let that sit again for a little bit longer until the cauliflower is completely cooked through, and then we'll have our dinner. And there you have it, keto beef stroganoff. Oh, that looks so good. I am going to enjoy this. And now our favorite part, eating. Okay. Oh, that is good. It's a different flavor. I'm not used to, I've never really cooked with almond milk before. And it doesn't taste like it would if I'd used cream. But it's an interesting and quite tasty flavor. This is quite good. So anyway, there you have it. My keto ground beef stroganoff. I hope you have a chance to try it yourself. Until next time, I am Wesley Foreman. Please don't forget to like if you liked the video. Don't forget to comment below if you have any questions or comments. And please subscribe. Until next time, eat and enjoy.